Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be reviewing the James Harden trade. Yes, I know there's been a lot of Nets content on here, and I'm not even a Nets fan, even though I am a New Yorker, I'm a Knicks fan. But, I just like to talk about things like this, especially the biggest trade of the most previous trade deadline, the James Harden trade, and I guess we'll regrade it. So, it's up on the screen right now. Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, a first, and, well, two firsts. One is unprotected, the other is protected for James Harden and Paul Millsap. So pretty much, let's just grade Brooklyn. And James Harden wanted out. Obviously, he was doing the whole thing with the fat suit again, and he didn't want to play. He had his problems with KD and Kyrie, I'm guessing, and eventually, was traded for obvious reasons. The Nets had to deal him, and the reason for them dealing was he wanted out. And at that point, they had already traded tons of assets for him. We've already talked about the Nets trading tons of assets for him. If you haven't seen that video, it's my timeline of the KD and Kyrie saga in Brooklyn. So check that one out if you want more content on the whole thing with the Nets saga. I go in depth on that video. But anyway, so you have to trade him, and Ben Simmons is pretty much the best you're gonna do. He wants to go to Philly. Ben Simmons isn't even playing for Philly at this point. And obviously, you got to add in a few players like Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and then a few picks because obviously, even though we didn't know how bad Ben Simmons was, we knew that James Harden was slightly a better player than Ben, and he definitely is. But anyway, let's get to the grades where I got Brooklyn. You get an F. I don't really care about the picks. James Harden has been, well, I guess I won't talk about James Harden yet. Ben Simmons has been horrendous, let's be honest. He's averaging, a triple single, I believe. Yes, he's a good playmaker and a good rebounder for a point guard, but at the same time, now he's playing more power forward. You see Jock Vaughn talking about, I don't know where to play Ben. They want to build a team around Ben, but what do you do? Ben Simmons doesn't fit on the team. He's like, I can't play him with Claxton because there's no spacing. And obviously, you want to prioritize Claxton because he's a defensive beast. He's, like I said, defensive beast, rim protector, obviously. And because of that, now you probably have to get rid of Simmons for nothing good. So you're just losing value. Supposed to be the headliner for all-star caliber player in James Harden, who didn't make the all-star team, but definitely should have. I would have probably taken him over Jrue Holiday. I mean, Jrue Holiday is having a good season. James Harden did miss time, so if you want to make that argument, sure. But James Harden's having a better season if you don't factor in the time that he missed. So, that's why I say all-star caliber. Might not be all-star because of the missed time, but definitely playing as if he was an all-star. I mean, he's been a great playmaker. So you trade that for Ben Simmons, who really hasn't been able to do much. I mean, obviously we all know he can't shoot, but then again, he also is scared to shoot layups. He doesn't want to get fouled. It's really a mess with Ben Simmons. He's passing up big opportunities, and he's a good playmaker. So it's good that he's passing. Of course it is, but what's not good is that he's passing up wide open layups. That's not something you should do. Occasionally you might miss a wide open layup, Ben, but you're also 6'10", I think, or 6'11". You should be making those layups. But he's getting unplayable. Seth Curry's still on the team. He's not playing too much. Andre Drummond is not on the team. He signed elsewhere, Chicago, and then those picks, I mean, really, they're not really too good anyway. I mean, one of them's protected, and the one last year, I don't even remember who the Nets got. Was it Kessler Edwards? No, it wasn't Kessler Edwards. I don't know. So like I said, Brooklyn gets an F easily. So for the Sixers, I got them getting an A plus. So it just comes down to straight up the Sixers clearly won the trade, and not A plus. I'll give them an A because we haven't seen them win a championship. Like A plus should be reserved for a championship type move, which just is. If you win the championship with James Harden, it's clearly A plus. But you traded Ben Simmons away, who wasn't even playing for you at the time and probably would have never played for you again. Seth Curry doesn't really do much for you. Yes, he's a solid player. Andre Drummond probably would have not stayed. He's just a backup center, not too big of a deal. And then those picks or whatever, for getting, like I said, all-star caliber player in James Harden, who's one of the best playmakers in the league. He fits well with Embiid and Maxey. So now you have a pretty amazing duo with a good third up-and-coming star. So that looks great. Now all you have to do is make that leap. You got to make the finals or win the finals. So yeah, it's not an A plus quite yet, just because they haven't won an NBA Finals. That would it's obviously hard to get an A plus if a team hasn't won a finals, but it was obviously a great move. You traded away basically nothing for James Harden, who fits amazingly on your team, and the Sixers have been great this season, of course. So yeah, I just want to talk about this. At the time, a lot of people were really mixed on it. Like, you see videos like, oh, this was the weirdest trade I've ever seen, and it was. At the same time, it wasn't, because it was two players that did not want to be in the organizations, and it looked like, okay, either A, they're both gonna work out, because these players, first of all, didn't want to play for the teams that they were on anyway, so now they're just gonna now they're in different situations. So yeah, maybe it's a win-win, because you're trading someone that didn't want to play for someone who didn't want to play, and now so you get something back for someone who didn't want to play for you, and that looked good. And then it also looked like it could be a lose-lose trade. Like, James Harden at the time was not looking great. It was not looking great. He was still all-star caliber, and I'm pretty sure he made the all-star team, but people were like, is he as soon as he joined Philly, the people were like, is he really that good? And obviously, yes, he is really that good, but people were questioning it, is James Harden out of his prime, if he started to get older? And I think he's still the same player. Personally, I think he can still go off those 40-point games that we used to see all the time in 2018 and 2019. What was he averaging, 35 points per game? He's still that player, in my opinion. I just think he's a much better playmaker now, which is of course just great for the Sixers, who have a top 2 center in the league. I'm not going to say he's one. I'm also not going to say he's 2, but he's definitely one of the 2. I don't care where you put him. And then, yeah, so that really works out. So people were like, you could definitely see the win-win side. You could see the lose-lose side, because, maybe he is washed, and maybe the pairing doesn't work, and then he doesn't re-sign with Philly, which he ended up doing, but he still might not re-sign with Philly. We'll see, but as of right now, it looks like he will re-sign with Philly. It's looking like a great trade, and Philly could just cap it off and get that A plus if they win an NBA championship in the next upcoming years. So yeah, and as for Bookroom, there's really no fixing this unless someone give a lot away for Ben Simmons, but that's not happening. So anyways, that's the end of this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Tell me what you guys think of this trade down below. Goodbye.